So lists are kind of an important part of PDF accessibility, of course. List structures are very tedious to set up manually because you have to identify like a label and a list body and a list item, and you group it together, and then you nest it all inside of a list tag. It just takes a while to get through it. But with Equidox, it's really quite simple. Now, these lists, this document here is completely untagged. So there's nothing here to identify these as lists to a machine. So right now, Equidox just sees this as just like a block of text. And if you were to look at the HTML preview, you would see that evidence right here where I have just like this weird looking paragraph with bullet points. There's really no punctuation. So what we do to fix this is we simply click on the text zone and hit L on our keyboard. When you hit L on your keyboard, it will change it to a list for you. So it's selected list for me, and it all automatically scrolled me down to the list detector. Now from the list detector, I can just nudge this slider from left to right, and it's automatically going to create a list for me. And if I go back to my preview, you'll see that instead of having like a strange little run-on sentence, I've actually got a list with 3 distinct list items. So Equidox will do the hard part of exporting the tags for you. All you have to do is identify it as a list and then nudge your slider from left to right. If you have a list like this, where you have like 1, 2, and 3 that are present, instead of just, standard bullet points as your list style, sometimes you'll have, Roman numerals or letters or numbers. It's the same process. Hit L on your keyboard and nudge your slider over to the second setting. So when I drop it over on the second setting, I'll explain this in just a second. It's kind of technical. But what we do now is we hit the ordered radio button. When you hit the ordered radio button, you get a drop-down menu that says style type. And if I hit the style type drop-down, I can now change this to a different style. So this is a numbered list. So I want to hit numbers. And instead of having just bullet points being assigned to the list items, I have numbers like 1, 2, and 3. Now this is really more for the HTML aesthetics. We're not visually altering your PDF. So it's not really making that big of a difference for a PDF export. But if you want your HTML to kind of match the style of the PDF, you can see that instead of having just standard bullet points assigned, you've now assigned the list labels as numbers to match this document. And then finally, we have a nested list here. Now, nested lists are very difficult, much more complicated than just a standard list. But in Equidox, it's really the same thing. You just hit L on your keyboard. And again, move your slider over to at least the second setting. And this little wheel that's spinning, it's just indicating that that's using the computer vision and machine learning. So we're using a form of artificial intelligence that has been trained to figure out what nested lists look like. So instead of just having 2 main items, it actually finds that there's a layer inside of those list items of another list. So with just a couple of seconds, you can build nested list tag structure. So that's lists. That's just a quick crash course through lists. If all else fails, if for whatever reason your list is just like really weird and goofy, you can draw a zone, hit L, and then say, okay, this list has 6 items. And then you can drag these things around and kind of place them wherever they need to go. I would say I need to do this less than 1% of the time. But if you ever need to manipulate things, you can do it manually. Okay.